Shit, I am not high enough. Oh, look, it's live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wolf King. We in the room. We got Yuri Silken and Blue. Yeah, Blue. Like awesome. I know you guys love Blue. And you're watching Secular America, that nation where where since we got that separation of church and state, we got equality between religious and non-religious. They're free to believe what they want to believe, and we're free to call it bullshit and use that free thought because it is vital. All right. Okay, so we got a couple of fun and interesting stories for you. Let's see. Okay, for the first story, let's see. We got Brian Fisher. Apparently, he's got something against pro-gay Republicans. Let's just pop in the clip here and here right quick.
Party into the 21st
century.
Oh,
hold on.
What makes this band of operatives unique is not just that they support gay rights, but that many have made it their mission in the past to bring the party along with them. Now they're going to argue that they're just trying to drag the Republican Party into the 21st century. Well, if they're dragging the Republican Party into any century, it would be the 20th century BC. That's roughly the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. So they're taking it back to the 21st century BC. They're not pulling it forward. They're taking the Republican Party backward into the darkness of the past. This is not the 21st century AD they want to move the Republican Party into. This is the 21st century BC. Sodom and Gomorrah back in the times of Abraham and Lot.
Okay, so that was Brian Fisher on pro-gay Republicans and them essentially acknowledging that there really is a decline on religious authority with regard to gay marriage and gay rights in general. That apparently they're moving society backwards, or no, not society, but the Republican Party backwards to Sodom and Gomorrah in the time of Lot and Abraham. Okay, I don't think recognizing that gays are people and that most of society doesn't really see a real empirical reason why these people shouldn't have rights is backward. It's more or less forward. And also, like, how the hell is this moving them back to Sodom and Gomorrah? That place was that was during the time when the only good guy in town offered his daughters to be molested by the townspeople rather than the angels.
Yes, I love that how he assumes that this is history. Oh, that what happened in Genesis, that's real history. I mean, he just assumes that.
Hey, well, it's written.
Oh yeah, it's totally written in there.
In their history book.
Yeah, so that should be used to influence like the laws of the public sphere. Not here, buddy. Not here in secular America.
That's right.
Get that shit out of here, man.
Got that right. What else you got, King?
He's just influencing opinions.
Exactly.
With that stupid statements. Trying to gain supporters.
Yeah, honestly, like they use it. They ask. I hear some religious fundamentalists ask like a lot, like why do I talk about it? Why do I talk about like religion? And it's like the reason I do it is that a lot of the times people, like particularly fundamentalists, often use their belief as a way of pushing policy based on said belief. And often has no real empirical validation for the claims. That's why I rationally scrutinize them and see if they have some weight to them, and if they don't, they're rejected totally. And that's just the way it works. We use this to make sure we don't have any biases and the statements that we have are congruent to reality as possible. That's that's the best way to ensure that the knowledge we have is incongruent but accurate. That's just the way it works.
Not only that, but he's influencing a bunch of people with his statements. I think you are doing the exact same thing. You're basically providing a counter, a weight on the other side, basically to his speeches, where he's getting all these people on his side. you provide a counterweight, and it slows down his progress or whatever he wants to do.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. That, and I think modernity does that as well, because there is actually a rise in in secularization, like just it tend as as further human progress expands, like in like science and reason and stuff like that. It tends to like like approaches to dogmatism and just rabid religious fundamentalism that tends to become less prevalent.
Or it has recently. We can hope that continues. I certainly do hope it continues, but since
It'll
this,
continue.
Of
I
course.
hope.
Hey, Green.
I have to point out that once again that
Yeah, how
the
you doing?
second campaign is worldwide is relatively new, and we are still relatively small. Just saying. I mean, I'm on the team, but
No. You're speaking facts, man. It is recently new, and it's not necessarily a turn to atheism, but secular America, it will strive forward, because that's what we know how to do, man.
that's right.
All right. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Okay. There is apparently a preacher out there who apparently has a very strong opinion about that Katy Perry halftime show. Let's give it a listen.
I watched that Super Bowl thing about a month ago with Katy Perry at halftime, and it was really a satanic performance that was put on. I don't even know if you know it or not, the deviousness of that whole thing, folks. And Katy Perry, now that those little dancing sharks out there, Katy Perry appealing to the younger generation. They say she is the most popular artist in regards to children anywhere in the world. The deviousness of the NFL and whoever controls the NFL to put Katy Perry on there with a clearly demonic halftime show. We live in unbelievable times.
Okay. That was basically some random radio host, I guess, talking about Katy Perry's little halftime show. Uh, yeah. Apparently, she's like a pop singer who appeals to young girls. Therefore, like anything she does equates to Satanism, Illuminati, and all this. I mean, just looking at her, just looking at her random art acts and stuff like that, it's like none of that even reigned like. Okay, like if you look at my wolf avatar, you could see there's obviously some type of satanic influence in terms of the art. However, I don't believe in Satanism. I don't affirm that belief. So I don't necessarily claim, I don't follow that. It's just something just for the sake of art. I mean, the same could be said for like her performance. She just did that stuff because she thought it looked cool, or maybe her people who were managing her stuff thought it would look cool, or most likely her herself. But who gives a fuck? Point is, none of that stuff was satanic, and people who think that shit are insane jackasses. But what do you guys think?
I just am so sick of every Super Bowl halftime show. The next day, it's Illuminati this and Satan that. Every one. I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, that's all we hear. It's a cliche. I mean, it really is. It's just a cliche. And they never provide any answers or any evidence of why it's satanic. And when they do, like dumbass Rand Campbell, it's monstrously stupid. So, yeah, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Illuminati.
Well, I think I guarantee you her record sales is going to go up the more, satanic or, the more backlash you get. Sometimes it's, I think people generally are, really into things that are against the norm in a sense. And actually, it's like they're helping Katy Perry out by making these type of statements.
Huh.
That's true. I mean, I never actually saw the halftime show, and I didn't watch the football.
Now I want to watch it.
Yeah, I watch it now because there's a big stink about it. And honestly,
Yeah. I actually watched it. Yeah, I encourage anyone who's like into like good performances to watch it. It was actually kind of nice. It was actually kind of awesome. The like the flashiness of that shit. I mean, honestly, if any blue, if you were loaded, you would actually think it was kind of cool. But like honestly, I didn't see like one satanic influence in there. None of that Illuminati bullshit that those nerds be complaining about. So honestly, I don't even see like the point. These people they friggin' spend time contemplating on like the vigilant Christian. Like guys like hey, it's a vigilant Christian Mario. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you about how there's Satanism in my asshole. I mean, see, if you look at my asshole, it's like friggin' like it has like the 666 like in the crevice, like. What the
Just a birthmark.
That'd be proof. There you go.
Isn't dancing satanic in like it just basically in general, or especially to rock music, but just dancing, technically.
Yep.
So I mean, okay, so if she's dancing, that would be satanic.
No. I mean, you heard that clip. I mean, it was she's a pop singer. She could get young women to listen to her rather than religious people. I mean, like not even religious people, religious authorities.
You said it was a good show. It was just for a Super Bowl halftime, for whatever that can be, it was pretty good. You said, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was flashy. It was pretty cool. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I'm usually not a fan of chick music unless the chick is like really freaking hot. Katy Perry is I mean, she's cool. I mean, I can't complain. I'm not, but other than that show, it was kind of cool. I mean, like I really don't know what these conspiracy theorists are bitching about, other than the fact that the influence just comes from her, like just being a friggin' star doing whatever the hell she does, which is perform.
And she has more influence than them. That's also a problem.
Exactly. Like and that stupid friggin' myth, like, Christian persecution, dude. Unless you live in like an Islamic state or a communist state, that shit doesn't exist in Western society. That just means you're not getting your way politically. That's all that means. It's a bullshit term.
Just in general, how many little girls are watching the Super Bowl? Like, is a Super Bowl is kind of geared towards middle-aged men, right?
Everybody in America watches the Super Bowl. A third of the nation.
And those little girls too, right?
That's going to include some little girls too, some little kids.
Yeah, what percentage?
Parents are at a party.
What, 5% maybe of little girls watch it? Maybe they're, I don't know.
Yeah, they have to watch it.
Maybe more tuned in because they knew Katy Perry was going to be on the Super Bowl. I don't know.
It's a conspiracy. Ah.
Well, they said the same thing about Madonna, Billie Holiday, any female performer. That's, I hear this time and time again, and then all it does is just brings more record sales for the artist. That's all it does. I remember there was a big stink about.
Oh yeah.
There was a big stink about the heavy metal lyrics, and
go ahead.
Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife actually did a campaign to have the explicit lyrics label on the record sales, and what it did was it increased record sales.
Right. Yes, I have to suffer through another generation of Judas Priest fans because she made us think.
Yeah, and what it did, it just helped them out. So it's like the more they do it, the better it is. So if I was Katy Perry, I'd be thanking them.
Well, it's also like the problem is that she's a single, independent female, right? So there's a whole female subjugation thing that's going on. You're there to make babies.
Harlot, how dare you?
Yeah,
you must spit out children. You must
and they're not dressing.
Fuck all this music shit.
Exactly. It's very traditional. Girls from the 50s.
Oh yeah.
He was married, but is
No,
now.
no. You want no. You want to hear traditional. You want to hear traditional. Let's transition this topic a bit. Hold on a second. I'm gonna link a story to all of you guys because you're never gonna believe it. I'm a little disappointed in secular America right now. We need some progress up in here. Losing our friggin' minds. Hold on a second. Let's see.
How have we disappointed?
Okay. What up, Eric?
Nothing.
Well, it was Florida. You know, that's the part of that's one of the parts where we're disappointed at.
I'm looking through the wiki.
Where it took place in.
I'm looking through the Wikipedia article right now. Katy Perry needs no one's help to get more famous and rich and sell more records. She really doesn't.
Well, can somebody tell me what we're talking about?
She'll take it.
Well, we were talking about the Katy Perry halftime show, but now Wolf is segmenting into something more traditional.
Okay. Hey Yuri, I broke my computer.
Okay. Now I put a link in the side chat for all you guys to see. Living in sin, unmarried Florida couples can face jail for cohabitating, and hundreds have been charged.
You're joking.
I shit you not. No, I'm not. I'm not even bullying. That's the the sad part about secular America, and that it's not perfect. We always gotta keep working. Yeah, let me just read this for you guys right now, because it is disappointing yet shocking. Florida law proposed legislation that would finally make it legal for unmarried couples to live together. Under current Florida law, it is punishable by a $500 fine and up to 60 days in jail for an unmarried man and woman to live together. If any man and woman not being married to each other lewdly and lasciviously associate and cohabit together, any man or woman, married or unmarried, engages in open and gross lewdness and lascivious behavior, they should be guilty of a misdemeanor of the second degree, the law states.
It's lascivious.
Yes.
The word.
Lascivious. Anyway,
Yeah, lascivious.
how old is that law, and has anybody been charged with it recently?
Okay, I'm getting to that. Hold on a second. Two Democrats, State Senator Eleanor Soil and State Representative Ray Winkle Vasselindel, or whatever, have filed legislation to repeal the law, which has been on the books since 1868. Legislation to repeal the law before, but previous efforts failed. I'm not ready to give up on monogamy and a cultural statement that marriage still matters, State Representative Dennis Baxley said in 2011. Nearly 700 people were charged with misdemeanors between 2006 and 2011, according to WCTV. In 2012, a concerned citizen called for Hallandale Beach City Commissioner Keith London to be prosecuted under the law for living with his girlfriend. I don't give a darn about London's living arrangement. I may even agree that the law in question is archaic and not well suited to contemporary times. But the real story is that an elected official sworn or affirmed to uphold state law is knowingly violating that law. Linda Takashi explains.
So she wasn't prosecuted simply because there's a law?
Apparently so.
Then she's an idiot.
Exactly.
That's dumb.
That's Florida
This
for
fucking
you. Wow.
this fucking law should not even exist. That's a damn shame.
Right.
It's an old law, though. It's shit like that existed a long time ago. It's not that it was okay then any better than it is now, but it's old. They just didn't take it off the books.
But this is the type of nonsense. This is like the white Christian Taliban bullshit that they're trying to push. Like, I mean, this is so.
There's laws like that in a lot of the states. They just weren't.
But here's the thing. In 2015, I mean, it's not like if I say if I shack up with a girl, right? how is that hurting anybody? How is that? I mean, like,
You're not listening to what I'm saying, though. I agree with you that it's a stupid law, but you know what? There's two ways of looking at it. Number one is how much money, taxpayer money, would it cost to remove the law? It's just not a simple process. It will cost X amount of dollars. The second thing is these kinds of laws, they're not prosecuted in any of the states. This woman is an idiot for wanting him prosecuted. She's doing it because there's a law.
Yeah, the laws are not really
yeah, well,
enforced
well,
either.
laws can change laws can change to fit current time as like more scientific knowledge is gathered, and honestly, you know, I will agree with you in that there are anomalies such as this to where, you know, certain legal binds get like this that aren't altered, you know, to fit modern times. But now that it's coming to light, you know, now we could actually, you know,
We know
adjust
that there's
better.
laws like this. They're all over the country. There's laws in the military that you cannot have. I think there's laws in the military that you cannot have sex that is not missionary. There's fucked up laws like that. There's a lot of shit like that.
Well,
You're right. They never should have been there in the first place, but they are. And I really wonder if they should just be left without even doing anything. Maybe I'm wrong. But
well, I mean, well, I don't. Okay, look, okay. Granted, even with the military, that I mean, which is a fucked up situation anyway. I mean, that's like going into a particular contract. I mean, living in a particular place, you know, under that, you know, I honestly hope they do something to reform that, because that's total bullshit. But Green, you had something to say?
what if it's really expensive to do it? What if it takes man hours to do it?
How is that friggin'? I mean, okay. Let me ask you a question. How much work do you think they put in friggin' messing with those 700 people for living together and not do? I mean, don't you think that's a bit invasive? I mean, fucking conservatives would say that that's fucking like communism or some shit.
We're not disagreeing. We're not disagreeing with that. If they actually prosecute the law very often, then yes, it needs to be repealed. But if it's just in some states, there's laws against oral sex. I mean, they're old blue laws that are just ridiculous, that just will go by the wayside. And if they're prosecuting, yeah, they need to do something. Then that is different. That's Florida too.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the only reason that these things are defended, I guess, is to maintain this idealistic view of America that really never existed. I mean, it might have existed at a time, but you know, the world is dynamic. It doesn't.
Right.
But
you said at the beginning. What did you say at the very beginning of that statement? Can you repeat? I couldn't quite hear it.
Let's see.
You remember?
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I was providing my theory behind. I'm thirsty. I was providing my theory about like the reason I think that these laws are maintained, or at least defended, like at least the one in.
They're not maintained. Laws are not maintained necessarily. They're there. They're just there. They're not.
Well, I was qualifying my statement, just like in mid stating it. You know, like the reason that this is defended, because, you know, they have representatives that are defending this.
I don't think that's the case, though. I don't think that's actually the case, Wolf King. I think they're there, and it's more effort to get rid of them. They probably should get rid of them, but I think it's. I understand what you're saying. I understand. I get.
Yeah. Like my point is, like, they're trying to basically, like, just let me finish. They're trying to maintain this view of the world. Well, not the world, but of America, that probably did exist, like, you know, several decades back. But, you know, the world is dynamic. You know, it's not static. It constantly it constantly changes as like new knowledge is gathered about it, and therefore we must adapt to it in order to better fit the situation. You know.
Yeah, and I think my point probably doesn't even fly, to be honest with you. When I think about it, I'm probably wrong because we're talking about people's rights.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one thing if it hurts someone else. I mean, if we were talking about like two people that have that you know that are honest that aren't doing anything to harm anyone else, that are just that happen to live together. I mean, unless you have like some moral like some personal moral hang up about that, that's their business, and you know that and their business alone. So you know that to violate someone's liberty like that is just messed up. That's why
I don't disagree with you. I really don't.
yeah.
I guess my point is I think that there's some battles to fight, and there's battles worth fighting, and right now I don't know if that's one of them. But it's not something to take lightly either. So I get your point.
Well, this is the thing too, and I'm thinking about like a legal perspective. Like if somebody gets married, you bring the legal system in, and a lot of times, you know, to get a divorce, there's some paperwork to be signed, plus, you know, hence part of the system. I think when people are just living with each other, then it becomes a little complicated. And I think the reason why, I don't think this is just mainly a religious reason, but I think this is something within the system, what they have working out for them.
Well, I wonder if Florida has like an exorbitant number of people trying to immigrate through like get their green card or something through marriage.
And that could be, yeah, that could be another reason why they're not repealing it, because I think it works into their favor somehow.
Well, it must.
Yeah, it has to work within their favor because you know they're trying to repeal it, but at the same time, you know, they could post it up as, you know, something, the sanctity of marriage. But when you look at the how this thing works and how it benefits them, then definitely there's a more financial and legalistic reason for it.
Well, eventually they're going to start wanting to live with animals. You know, they're going to start wanting to live with dogs and cats, and then everything's just going to be done. I mean, we're going to be fucked. It was a joke. I think Soupy is the only one that got it.
Yes, I did.
Let gay people marry. What's gonna stop them from living with dogs?
I gotta get myself a goat. Why not?
Hey Ed. Hey Mr. Ed.
Hello.
How you been, man?
Hey Ed, how you living, man?
I'm okay. How are you
I
guys?
said, hey Ed, how you living, man?
How's the west side of Michigan? Snowy?
Yeah, haven't got much in the way of new snow, but it's been so cold that nothing's melted. So
Oh my God, it's been so
all the
brutal
old
in
snow is still
Chicago.
here.
I'm farting ice cubes over here. It's snowing now.
Yeah, Ed, some crazy things going on in secular America. You know, these they got this crazy law talking about they can lock you up if you're cohabitating with just another one outside of marriage.
What?
Yeah, there's a law that I guess an
Welcome.
old law on the books that the only way men and women should be able to live together is if they were married, and it's just never come off the books.
Yeah, but it can't be enforced.
I guess they have tried to enforce it.
Yeah, they actually had tried to do that like from 2006 to 2011, and that you know they actually arrested 700 people. Actually,
What part of Florida was that? Did you say Hallandale?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
but they
I need to
arrested
talk to
700?
the Red Line because, dude, I need to tell him like, dude, like you're cool, but your state sucks. Like they maintain that bullshit.
Wait, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, yeah. Let me rescind that word.
No, they did not arrest 700 people, Wolf.
Yeah, I can't imagine that happened, and I wouldn't
No,
have known
that
about it.
they didn't arrest 700 people.
I remember there was a case not at some point in North or South Carolina. This was several years ago, where they tried to fire, I think it was a deputy sheriff, a woman, because she was living with her boyfriend, and there was some law in the books that said you can't do that, and it's a law that hasn't been enforced in 50 years, but it didn't work.
Fucked up.
Yeah, just another law to just mess with you. Like here, we have some blue laws about Sundays. They kept it, but if you want to, open your business during that time, you just got to pay an extra fine. It started out as a religious thing of Sundays of not working, but in the county kind of benefited in a way because there's not a lot of traffic, and it kind of helped the neighborhood in the sense that there's not a lot of cars out on the road. So, it's just like a law that started out religiously, but yet they found that, this is actually practical in a sense.
You wanna know how Sundays were invented? Like the ice cream treat Sundays.
Yeah.
Like okay. All right. So it was I think it was the early early 1950s, I believe. Like first ice cream soda was invented. Teenagers like them. So these religious people in like Illinois were just we're just wondering about like how much they hate teenagers, how much they love God, and therefore God must have something against ice cream sodas. So basically they started protesting against ice cream sodas, and apparently they were the work of the devil. So the state banned ice cream sodas on Sundays. So they just left out the soda part. That's how ice cream sundaes were invented. Basically, Illinois religious people from Illinois just like protesting, and now they please their invisible master by pissing on something that teenagers like.
Well, God bless them. I don't care why ice cream sundaes were invented. I'm just glad ice cream sundaes were invented.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, transitioning. Let's see. Join link. Something from South Carolina. Apparently about athletes. I'll give you a hint. They, I don't know, shit. Like, they don't like sharing polls, apparently. Like, their athletes doing it anyway. Alright, you got that?
Yeah, it's a religious school, though, so it's not exactly a surprise, nor is it illegal for them to do it.
College bans homosexuality after athletes come out as gay. A rural South Carolina college school is attempting to ban homosexuality among its students after two of the school's volleyball players come out as gay. Outsports reported that Escreen College issued a policy statement that the college is officially opposed to same-sex relationships because it isn't part of God's intended design for humanity. Last year, two players on the Escreen volleyball team, Drew Davis and Juan Verona, went public with the fact that they are gay men. The team went on to play against the two top teams, not two top teams, just top teams in the nation at the NCAA tournament. Now, Escreen officials are attempting to make certain that any other LGBT students at the college know that the school does not welcome them. The school's statement on human sexuality issued late last week said, "We believe the Bible teaches that all sexual activity outside the covenant of marriage is sinful and therefore ultimately destructive to the parties involved," and continued. I'm not even going to bore you guys with that religious bullshit. We believe the Bible teaches, whatever. Yeah, okay, just to sum it up, the Verona from Alto Sports went on to say the school took several steps back instead of progressing toward a future where everyone can be treated as equal, and that it just made me sad and worried that for any other gay people who might be struggling with confidence to come out. So yeah, thanks South Carolina College for basically making a group uh, feel bad for their sexual orientation. You dickheads.
What's the name of the school?
Let's see, hold on. The school's name is S. Green College.
S. Green College.
It's a small Christian school, so it's not
so
like
it's private.
banning homosexuality is anything of a surprise there.
Well, if you don't do something like that, I would figure, that they will do something like that. If this was like a state college, definitely it will not happen.
Yeah, then you could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's open discrimination.
Well, it's open discrimination here too. It just isn't illegal discrimination.
Yeah. That's what I meant. I mean, it's obviously cracking down in secular America. It's just more or less amongst religious fundamentalists. They're sort of scrambling for their quote unquote rights to discriminate against gays. Oh, them gays, they coming out with that agenda for equality and freedom. No. This is Christian America. No, that doesn't exist. You know you're pressing them. You know like that's against that separation.
What's interesting is that Notre Dame and several other major Catholic colleges are now offering same-sex partner benefits for those who are legally married, which has prompted quite a furious reaction from some of their faculty. 3 professors at Notre Dame just a couple days ago put out an absolutely furious statement.
Wow.
About it. Because they didn't actually have to. There's no law that says they have to. They don't have to offer benefits at all. So.
Yeah, it's I don't know if this is true, but Notre Dame is a private institution. Am I correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, well, the state of Indiana, so the federal courts overturned their ban on same-sex marriage. Supreme Court refused to hear an appeal, so that left the Seventh Circuit's order overturning it in place, and so same-sex marriage became legal in Indiana last fall. And then Notre Dame put out a statement saying that they would give fringe benefits, insurance, etc. to partners of any of their staff and faculty who were in a legal marriage, but there actually wasn't any legal requirement that they do so. So it makes quite a statement, I think, that they did anyway, and the 3 of their 2 law professors and 1 political science professor just put out this sort of public letter just reaming the school for doing this because, of course, it's against Catholic doctrine and so forth.
Well, the thing is, it kind of makes sense because for them to start doing that, I think, in the sense that Notre Dame is such a big school, is such a, especially if the state is overturning this and starting to progress a certain way, it wouldn't make sense for them to kind of isolate themselves in that way. So I think as a financial point, and it may not be the reason, but I think, there's something that they had to do.
I think it's something they had to do. I think it's really interesting that they did when they didn't have to do it. And certainly the fact that they are such a prominent university.
Well, that's my case in point, because it's a prominent university.
Well, there's lots of other prominent Christian universities that don't, So I don't think there's any particular pressure on them to do it. But the fact that they did, I think, sends a pretty powerful message. So I'm glad they did.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
What happened now? Mm. So we're all settled about the gay school thing, right?
Okay, you need to close on
That I mean, because if that's the case, then it's just gonna have to be a matter of continuing more marijuana. That the one commodity for which would obviously make our economy richer. Well, let me just acquire the link.
You could definitely see like parts of the country, progress into, marijuana laws and gay marriage and the openness of that. So, I see it moving along. So, definitely it was different, you know, in the earlier time in the 50s, and then you start seeing, a progression, and then, you see a revival from certain, conservative constituents, during the 70s and the 80s. And then we're going, right back again. So it kind of fluctuates, but I think eventually through time things change. And anything that changes, there's always going to be some resistance to it in some form or another.
I agree.
Awesome.
You know something? I was thinking the thing I'm gonna save that for last. I just found out this really funny story that would of Toast that I thought would be nice to share with you guys. Apparently, some politician thinks that he, well, just the billionth politician this time around that thinks he's disproved climate change again.
I mean, James Inhofe with his snowball on the floor of the Senate.
Should have had a snowball fight. Okay.
Well, he tossed it to the guy that was behind the gavel.
Awesome.
He didn't throw it at him.
He tossed it. Shouldn't threw it.
Yeah, the moment somebody says it's snowing and therefore global warming is false, that's pretty much the end of taking them seriously ever again.
Yeah, definitely. There's some characters out there.
Okay, got the link. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way these guys just try to make these asinine, statements about things that they really don't understand. I'm not a scientist, but I got this prop to prove some ridiculous point. I think the one silver lining behind this is that um, from beyond last year, more at least more and more people are acknowledging that it's getting hotter, that's getting heated up. They only draw the line to where it say that it's caused by man. That denotes that as humans we do in fact have an impact on our environment, and as such we have to do things and put actually more effort into maintaining our environment. The problem is that's not profitable. So that's what the oil companies and capitalists do. They strive to slowly kill the earth for money. What do you guys think? Eric. Hello. All right, whatever. Yeah, apparently, folks, if any folks want to come in, there's plenty of room on Secular America. We're going crazy. Let's talk about how we can fix it as rational, free-thinking human beings, citizens of the free world. All right, since apparently no one else is gonna come in here, I guess I'm just gonna hit you guys with the last story. Apparently, an individual got life in prison over weed that was worth $20. Lucian's Gambit.
Hello.
Oh, hey, your name's Dave, right?
Gary.
Oh, Gary. Shit, I sound like a douche. Gary.
Oh, no, please. All the
Man,
people you talk to on the internet, how could you remember me? I have 49 subscribers. So trust me. I know I'm not offended. He was talking about big business and pollution. A couple of things. First off, you got to take in consideration how local governments will bend over backwards to get big business in there too. Big business is evil as far as coal is concerned, but with the local municipalities wanting jobs, they're willing to sacrifice X amount of lives and environment just to make ends meet financially. West Virginia would sooner declare nuclear war than give up coal.
Yeah, honestly, they'll stop when it. See, they're not stupid. They're not going to completely ignore the the findings of the scientific community. They're just gonna do so much as to they don't want to impact the source that grants them the almighty dollar. That's just how it works. But sooner or later they're gonna have to acknowledge their their part in this. Otherwise, it's not gonna impact them in the long run.
They'll push it up to the wall and then finally do something right. We don't know what kind of patents they're sitting on. If they can engineer the problem, they can make twice the profit off of just the coal alone. You make the coal mess, and then while you're sitting on a solution for the coal mess, and then say, "Oh, look at what we have here." If you hadn't guessed, I'm a cynical bastard.
Like healthy cynicism and is always good with a healthy dose of optimism.
I remember years ago there was talk about getting how to go about acquiring hydrogen as a future fuel source, and this is how government plays a hand in these decisions. There was a great push in the DOE to get hydrogen out of coal, which defeats the whole purpose of doing hydrogen. If you use the coal, you pollute, but you want the clean energy from it. It was just insane. Coal-producing states were behind it, trying to get that DOE to push for that. We are the largest coal provider in the world. We are the Saudi Arabia of coal. Now, as oil dwindles, we're now tapping sour crude, which is considered like the most potentially environmentally the most dangerous because of the byproducts. Canada's tar sands project is pretty much, from what I hear, destroying their environment, but they're making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and if they're so interested in money, I mean, what about green energy? I mean, that's you know, you look at the computer and you think that the stuff, the money that was made off of that, you think that was awesome with the internet and everything. I mean, green energy, there's potential there. I mean, you know, you talk about producing innovations and stuff like that. You put money towards anything, and if you have the applications, you know, for some practicality, you could use it.
Well, this is where the problem with green energy starts, I think. It has two opponents, environmentalists, surprisingly, and the coal plants, coal producers. See, the environmentalists say, oh, we can't put up power lines, that'll destroy the scenery. I don't care about the scenery that much. What is going to do more damage long term? A couple of power lines or a coal plant which produces countless tons of mercury and other pollutants in the air? I'll sacrifice a little scenery for a lot more clean air. But these idiots, they just whine. My inner child's going to cry if you do this. I don't care about your inner child. I want to throttle you. And they say, oh, blades hit the wind turbines. The blades hit the birds. Again, long term, what's doing more damage? Boy, half the time these people act like their only career is to complain.
Yeah, I think you know, like it's gonna. I mean, they acknowledge it's getting hotter. It's really just a matter of applying better policy to where we can better deal with the problems. But but that being said, we're gonna move on to the final topic. Let's see. Okay. This is what I was getting in. This is what I was getting into before you came in. Okay. I put it in for you guys. Let's see. Okay, so as you can read, Vincent Winslow got life in prison for $20 worth of weed. All right, life in prison for it's terrible. Life in prison for selling $20 worth of weed. Homeless and hungry. Fate Vincent Winslow wanted something to eat, so he agreed to sell pot to a stranger, an undercover cop. On September 2008, Vincent Winslow watched a plain-clothes stranger approach him. Homeless and hungry on a dark street rife with crime, the 41-year-old African-American was anxious to make contact, motivated by one singular need, food. Another man, though this one white, stood next to Winslow, is referred to in court documents exclusively as Purdue. It was nearly 9:20 p.m., hours after the sun had dipped below the abandoned buildings surrounding them. The lights of downtown Shreveport, Louisiana, flickered in the distance as the plainclothes man, unbeknownst to him, an undercover cop, arrived. What do you need? Winslow asked. A girl and some weed. Officer Jerry Aclear replied. Purdue remained silent as Winslow and Aclear negotiated the costs. Winslow wanted a $5 delivery fee for the $20 2-dime bags of pot. Fine. Money settled. He grabbed Purdue's bike and took off. In the meantime, Aclear and Purdue waited. According to the police report, the two hardly spoke. A girl was the prime reason Aclear was there. Prostitutes were known to frequent these seedy streets, and he was looking to nab one. It was for this reason that arrest agent Sergeant Ricky Scroden sat listening to the bug hooked up to his ear from an unmarked vehicle nearby. The details of what happened remain murky. Winslow returned to the scene allegedly with marijuana. Money and drugs were exchanged between hands in the dark. When Scrogen and the other officers rushed to the scene after Officer Clear confirmed the pot, they found $5 on Winslow and $20 on Purdue. Both bills had been marked, but no one could explain how exactly they got there. Police arrested Winslow, drove him to prison, and locked him up. 6 months later, they found him guilty of distribution of a Schedule 1 substance, marijuana. 3 months after that, a judge sentenced him to life imprisonment with hard labor without the benefit of parole. Purdue was never arrested. Yeah,
All
yes.
that for the most harmless of substances.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I've known
felony
people
for
smoking.
I just want to fish it up here. The felony for selling marijuana on September 5th was, in Winslow's case, the straw that broke the camel's back. Using his existing criminal record, the prosecution sought the maximum punishment. His prior convictions, all nonviolent felonies, made him a candidate for the notorious mandatory minimum sentencing laws. In 1985, at the age of 17, he was convicted of simple burglary and sentenced to 3 years. In 1994, at 26, he was charged with the same, this time 8.5 years. In 2004, he was arrested for possession of cocaine, landing him 18 more months in prison. Multiple felonies left him moneyless, jobless, and ineligible for food stamps. Those with drug felonies are permanently banned from applying. So really, he just did it for the sake of food, and honestly, it was nonviolent. But it's ridiculous that still he got life imprisonment for that.
That's utter insanity. Oh, I've known people smoke it my whole life. The only thing that ever happens is if you block access to the munchies, they will pounce on you. That's it. That's as dangerous as marijuana gets. And it's legal in 14 states. What makes it, was it said North Carolina?
It occurred in, let's see, where this, it happened in Louisiana.
Oh. Louisiana. I've never heard of any good things about Louisiana court system. Considering their...
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised, or at least I shouldn't be in that particular part of the South.
It's like one level above Mexico as far as corruption. I remember this one story about these little old grannies that they was reading in the paper that their neighborhood was reconstructed after Katrina. They looked around, they saw nothing was reconstructed. So they grabbed the video camera and they went around to all these areas that were supposedly reconstructed, and then found, when they did see something that was rebuilt, they talked to the owner of the house, and the owner goes, "No, I paid for it." Who's saying that I got money? All these millions of dollars somehow got misplaced, and one guy was somehow responsible for it? No, one guy took a fall for it. That's all in... Louisiana is one corrupt place. I wouldn't be surprised if they did this law, this act, just to try to prove that they're doing something about drugs. It's all sound and fury signifying injustice.
Hopefully, after they make this legal, these they actually like override these injustices. But like I said, secular America is a work in process, and unless we're willing to actually stick to the facts objectively, rather than these prejudices and these discriminations, stuff like that really blinds us to the truth, I'm not sure if we could ever progress. But then again, that's my belief in human reason. All right, I guess that's the end of the show. This is a good time to wrap it up. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. This has been Wolf King in Secular America, and This has been Wolf King telling you guys, dare to know. Later.
Bye.